Welcome back to Elbow Top. My name's Adam. Today we're going to be talking about something we haven't really talked much about on this channel. We're going to be talking about grading trading cards. We'll talk about what the process is for graded cards, what grading cards involves, and of course, at the end, I'm going to show you some cards that I'm actually going to send away to a certain company. Now, for all of you out there who don't know what a graded trading card is, there's a bunch of these different companies out there who actually grade a trading card. They look at a bunch of different ideas, that is centering, corners, edges, and the surface, and they give your card a score based on what they believe this card, the card quality is of the card. For example, this is a Barry Sanders from 1989, and this company is called PSA. Now, PSA was, I think, one of the first companies to actually be grading cards, but they are definitely considered, the top as far as grading goes. It is an American company, so a lot of these cards are obviously American trading cards, and these cards come from my dad. These aren't actually my cards, so don't send me any messages saying, hey, can I buy them? Hey, can I trade them? Or anything like that. These belong to my dad. He started getting his cards graded, I think, around the 90s time when I was younger, and look, he was ahead of his time because these cards are now worth a lot more money than they were back in the days. So this is a 1989 Topps traded Barry Sanders. Now this came out as a near mint to mint, you can see up there, and it got a score of 8 out of 10. So if we have a quick look at here, so what they would have looked at is the surface, like if there is any scratches or anything like that on the card. Would have looked at the centering, whether the picture is even. I don't know if you can tell, but I think the center is slightly off on this card. You can see that this side is a little bit wider than this side, and I probably would assume that that little tiny amount of centering is why this card ended up with an 8. There was probably other things that, with their special magnifying glasses and all that sort of stuff they saw, but yeah, this came back as an 8 out of 10. So this is actually my card. This is a Wayne Gretzky 1985 Topps trading card, the great one. I'm a big ice hockey fan. I love my ice hockey. Wayne Gretzky is my favorite player of all time, as it's probably the case with most ice hockey people. And my dad actually bought this for me for a graduation present from year 12, which I was actually really excited about. This came back as an 8 as well. And you can see right here, look, I don't know why. The centering looks slightly off. Man, my camera just keeps doing this thing. I'm sorry, I'm going to lock that off. The centering looks slightly off on this card. You can see it's slightly higher, middling on that. Not as bad as Barry Sanders, though. But I think it was more the back that sort of was really getting it in there. There's a few sort of imperfections. See that corner over there? There's a little bit of whitening on the corner. You can see right there, a little bit of whitening on that corner. And yeah, they take it into all those sort of different accounts as we go. This is an interesting 8. Check this one out. This is a Mike Gardner from the 1980s set. And you can see the little ST here. What that means is stained. Obviously, back in the day, sometimes trading cards actually had like pieces of chewing gum inside it. And if you have a look at the back over here, can you see that sort of darkened area? Right there. See that sort of darkened area there and sort of down there? Well, that's actually the stain from the chewing gum that was in the pack. So they take that into account and say, okay, it's a stain card. We'll put ST on there, but we won't actually take away any points for the fact that it was stained. So that was pretty cool with the olden cards. I think we used to get footy cards with the bubble gum in there as well. This is a 8 star rookie. This is Randy Johnson. This is his rookie card. This was a big time. You know who Randy Johnson is. You know he's a big time player. He's got an 8 from 1989 upper deck. And what my dad actually has here and what I've grabbed from him was an 8 and a 9. So you can see the differences between it. Which, frankly, if you can tell the difference between these two cards and why this card is worth an 8 and this card is worth a 9, I'll tell you right now, you are far better than me. Looking at the card really closely, I cannot at all tell any major difference. Maybe the centering's a little bit better on this card, but the corners look really clean. I'm sure the surface looks really good, but that's the difference between the 8 and the 9. Now, a 10 is very, very hard to come by, and we've got the magnificent, the brilliant Michael Jordan in a Gem Mint 10. 1990 Flier. Michael Jordan, just the regular common card, but coming out in that grade Gem Mint 10, which means if it's got a 10, the person who graded this card has looked at it and said there is absolutely no flaws in it. It means the centering is absolutely perfect, which from purely just quick eye look, It looks pretty much spot on right there. The surface, there was not a single scratch or anything or any imperfections on it, which is hard to tell under this sort of light. Obviously, it's already behind the encasing. The corners means there's absolutely no whitening or no little things, no little dinks or anything like that in any of the corners. And the edges along the side, these little parts along here, are absolutely pristine and gem mint perfect. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, he's got his middle name there as well. That's pretty cool. So this was deemed as a perfect, pristine gem mint card by PSA. That card is now probably worth a lot more than what it used to be worth, thanks to the rising popularity of Michael Jordan, of course. But we're not going to be grading our cards through PSA. What we're going to be, the company we're actually going to be going through for my footy cards is this one right here, which is CGA. Now, it's an Australian-based company. I kind of feel weird sending like AFL footy cards, Australian cards overseas to get graded by American companies. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't really want an American grading on an Australian card. I would rather a Australian one. Now, this is it's not a rookie card, but this is in Dustin Martin's first season. This is probably his first prestige card. It's just a common card, but you can see right here, it got a pristine 100. Now, CGA rates things out of 100, so it can be 99, 98, 97, 96, etc., etc., all the way down to 1, I guess. But this one was graded as an absolute perfect card. The centering is dead perfect. The edges are perfect. The surface was perfect. And the corners are perfect as well. The overall number 3 pick from 2019, from the 2009 NAB AFL draft is a star in the making. Needless to say, that was 100% true. A strong-bodied midfielder, the teenager averaged 20 disposals per game from the outset in 2010, including 18 on debut in round 1. A star in the making is one way to put it. Look at him. He's such a fresh-faced Dusty. Just a baby. Look at him. Tats, nowhere to see him. And, of course, that guy went on to become the very first 3-time Norm Smith medalist, very first player to ever win a premiership medal at Brownlow and a Norm Smith in the same year, and drag Richmond's out of the doldrums to win 3 premierships in 4 years, and has become one of the most popular and well-known players of all time. And this, Mr. Dustin Martin, is exactly what we're going to be submitting to CGA in this bunch. Now, I've never actually submitted to CGA before, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they come back with, because apparently what they do is they don't just give you a score, but they actually give you a big, huge, comprehensive guide on exactly why the card got the score. I'm going to be submitting 7 cards to them, and they're all going to be Dustin Martin cards, because frankly, that's what you want to be grading these days. The first one I'm going to be sending through is the 2020 Dominance Holo Dustin Martin right there. You can see, let's have a close look at here. You can see the edges look really, really good. The surface is, trust me, clean as anything. Now, I didn't pull this card. I actually bought this card off eBay, but it came in such great nick. It was so well looked after that I think it definitely has a chance of getting a very, very high score. The number is 99 out of 350. So what would be absolutely cool is if we got a 99 for the score as well. That would be something really, really special. It's a beautiful card. You know, I love that little hypnotizing style holo on the front. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, looked after and kept in pristine nick. The next one is the red Dustin Martin from Prestige 2020. Now, again, this one I did not pull. I actually traded from one of you beautiful subscribers, number 62 of 170. Now, this card is not as good, I think. I don't think this is as good as the holo. I think along the top there was some little bits of maybe a little bit of whitening, but it is a beautifully scented card. It is a gorgeous card. And I'm really interested to see what it comes back as from CGA. All right, the next one is the highlights from 2020. Of course, Dustin Martin winning his 3rd Norm Smith in the grand final against the Cats. A huge game and a record-breaking game. That was the game that sent him into the absolute stratosphere of big-time football players. Now, only 1,233 cards of these were made, and this is number 374. I bought 2 of them. This is the one that I think is in better nick. The corners look really, really nice. The surface is beautiful and clean. I've been looking after it because I knew that I would think about maybe grading it. So I think I'm very excited to see what that comes back as I feel like that's got to be at least in the 90s. Next on, now we're going into some team coach right here, is 2019 Magic Star Wild, Dustin Martin. This is a gorgeous card, absolutely gorgeous. Now this is not, this is not getting 100, like, right? Like if we, some of that, you can sort of see the top of it. Again, this was not pulled. I didn't pull this. I bought this. I actually bought this card. However, it was from a trusted source, and it's been very, very, very well looked after. So I'm going to be really intrigued to see what they come back with. Team Coach traditionally doesn't have as nice of printing. Sometimes their big cards can come back as a little bit unclean, but I'm really excited to see what that comes back as. Plus, it's just a gorgeous card to have. Like him doing the Don't Argue. It's a beautiful beautiful picture, and of course the Richmond logos in the background with the gold looks stunning as well. All right, the next one I'm going to be submitting, and this is purely a sentimental card. This was the first big footy card I pulled on the channel last season, pulling the Dustin Martin Trophy Star Wild just out of a random pack from 7-Eleven. You probably remember the video. There's a good chance that after seeing that video, you became a subscriber to the channel. And this was sort of the card that caused the catalyst for people to start getting onto the channel. So a bit of a sentimental piece right here. It's not in the best of nick. I've tried to look after the best I possibly can, but again, sometimes these cards, Team Coach cards, just don't come as nice as they probably should. What I'm worried about is something, again, there's nothing I would have done about it, but if you can have a look, I'll pull out a little plastic. Can you see a little speckling right there? Like the speckling on the back? That's just a printing issue. That's got nothing to do with me. I didn't sit there and scratch anything off, but that's just purely a printing issue. So I don't expect this card to come back as a big, huge number, maybe in the 70s, 80s range, maybe 7 or 8, because everything is really nice, but it's just that speckling on the back. Also, I just dropped it, but it's just like that speckling on the back, and but it's more of a sentimental piece that I really love this card, and looking forward to have it in my collection, all looked after, perspexed up, so it doesn't get destroyed any further. All right, the next one is, now I've got 3 of these, but I think this is the best one in the best nick, and it's the Trophy Star Wild Colors from 2021 Team Coach. You've got the 3 Norm Smith down the side right there. It's a beautiful card. I love this card, and I think this is the best quality one I have out of all of them, out of the 3 that I have. So I think this has got the better chance of getting something in the 90s. It's a very, very clean card. You can see it's a very, very clean card. It's been looked after. Again, I traded for this card, so the fact that it did come so clean and nice is really, really wonderful, and thank you to the person I traded for. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with that one. However, the card that I'm most excited to get back is, of course, bam, our gold Dustin Martin Trophy Star Wild from the 2021 Team Coach. Now, what I'm excited about this is that if you remember, I actually sent the card back because there were some misprints on it. So this was a freshly printed, in theory, perfect card. Never sat in a pack, never sat on a shelf, never got shipped anywhere except straight to me in this. And I've looked after it. It's been inside a hard case the entire time. Again, if you look at it again, look at the back here. It's a beautiful card, smooth card. There's a little bit of speckling again, just because that's just part of it. You can see that little speckling, the 3 speckles over there. But I'm very excited to see what this comes back as from the grading. It's got to be in the 90s. I have to think that is coming back in the 90s shortly. So those are the 7 cards I'm going to be submitting to CGA for grading. I look forward to, it should take about a month for me to get these back. And of course, I'll do a video of revealing what numbers came out and what we got on these cards here. So this is going to be a dusty submission to CGA, and I'm looking forward to find out. And most importantly, I'm looking forward to getting them kept inside a nice plastic shell, so the cards are 100% protected forever. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy my content, please make sure you like and comment down below. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, I would love to consider maybe hitting that bell icon and the subscribe button to come along with me on my YouTube journey. If you're interested to seeing what these cards come back as graded from CGA, I'm sure you have to make sure you hit coming along. So the part 2 of this video will be back in about a month's time, which should be hitting really that's deep middle final, so it should be so the footage should be hitting a real high point as we're getting these cards back. But apart from all that, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you're staying safe, staying healthy, being amazing, and as always, I will See you in the next one.